Welcome to another market update. Today is July 27, 2018. Let's take a look at some of the indexes, ETF, and then we take a look at the FANG stock because those are the stocks that have been doing some damages this week. So let's start off with the SMI and taking a look at the weekly chart here. The SMI actually closed the week with a positive, with a gain, although even though that it did close positive, but the candle it printed for this week look a little bit of have a bearish tone in it, because you can see that it's look like a little bit of a reversal candle, although it is a green candle, but we are seeing some sort of a shooting star candle here. And if we take a look at the daily, you can see that after it popped on Wednesday, got a little bit of a shooting star candle here. Then today followed with a big down candle and came down to the lower boundary of this support zone here, this 280.41. So right now we're essentially monitoring to see if the pullback continues, would it be able to get a bounce off of this support zone here between 279.48 and 278.41. And if it can't find support here, then we're essentially looking at this gap area here for the next potential support at 276.52, 275.84. Then depending on what how's the price action at this level, then we be monitoring these level down here, and and also this trend line. Okay, obviously the resistance is the all-time high, and I do believe the market still targeting this all-time high, and so it's just a matter of how much of a pullback it will incur before it make another attempt to test the all-time high. And here we're looking at the QQQ. That's where most of the damage been done this week because of the FANG stock is very tech oriented. And you can see this is a shooting star weekly candle, closed down the week. Closed the week down, and you can see that got a little bit of an engulfing candle, but it's pretty bearish candle coming down today, and it broke to this essentially it came down to this support zone here. So right now essentially see would it get a bounce off of that next week and come back up and try to test the all-time high, or possibly put in a new all-time high. Will it continue to pull back, and would it be able to find support at these lower zone down here, the support zone, this one here 173.58, 172.84, and if that's cannot provide support for the Q to bounce, then we're essentially looking for the next support zone down here at 170 and 169.11 area. Right, and if that fail, then eventually you're probably looking at this trend line here down at near the 164 area here to see would it be able to get a bounce off to the trend line. But right now we're essentially looking at these level up here to see will we be able to get a bounce, because what we like to see is to be able to get a bounce at least when it come down here, right? So we get a sort of a higher low, okay, and remain, keep the uptrend intact. Here we're looking at the IWM, the Russell 2000 ETF. As you can see that it is pulling back a bit after it hit an all-time high a month and a half ago. It's been relatively strong comparing to the other indexes until this particular week, or at least until today. And if you can see, let me put in this this chart here, and you can see here I have posted this chart on Twitter and saying that the price need to hold this trend line. If it doesn't hold this trend line, then most likely you're going to come down and test for this 165 area, and which it did. It broke this trend line and came down, and right now it's got underneath it. So we need to see would it be able to get back above it. If it's not, then we're basically looking for this thing to come down to possibly this 162 area here. And if it could get back up above this 165.96, then we essentially want to see would it be able to get back above this trend line. And if it can get above this trend line and get back above this zone, this 167.76 zone, then there's a possibility of coming back up to retest the all-time high at the 170 area here. So if we go back and take a look at the daily chart, you can see, so you can see that daily chart here, essentially looking at the zone here, this 165.96. All right, so it came to this zone. So right now we're basically looking for this 162.48 to see would it be able to get a bounce here if it continue to pull back. Now next week this might just kind of bounce back into this zone and try to come back up to this 167.76 and back above this trend line here. Now let's take a look at the FANG stock. Start off with Facebook. As you can see, this is the weekly chart of Facebook, and this is what happened after earning, and it dropped more than like 20% or so. And so we take a look at the daily here, and you can see that it is sitting right underneath this zone here, this 179.98, 177.74. So right now we essentially want to see would it be able to get back above this zone, get back above this essentially the 180, and work itself back up to these resistance zone 186 and 188, or 191, 192 here. Or it continue to pull back, then we're basically monitoring these level here, the 170.23 and 168.65. Essentially, it's a little bit of a gap area, okay, to see could we get a bounce off of this gap area between the pivot and the gap. And if it can't hold the support at this area, then we're essentially looking for a possible gap fill, come down to this 162.85 and 161.50 or below, slightly below it, to get this gap fill. Okay, and if that gap will not hold, then we're essentially looking at this pivot low here down at 156.19. Here we're looking at Apple. Apple hasn't reported yet. I think it's scheduled for next Tuesday, the 31st. So as you can see, got a little bit of a shooting star doji candle, although it did hit a new all-time high this week, but it did not close at a new all-time high. And if we take a look at the daily chart here, you can see today is also a pretty bearish candle, and it's actually down over 1.67%. So we're essentially looking at this 189, 187 area here for potential support next week. And depending on what the earning looks like, haven't did a projection on to see what the market is pricing in for the earning move yet. So, but right now, these are the zones that we'll be watching for potential support: the 189 and 188 area, and the 183 and the 181 area here. Essentially, it's 183.45, 180.73. Then there's a little gap here. If it can't hold this 180.73, then we're basically looking at this little gap here at 178.25 and 177.50. If it come down here to 164, then I think the market is basically getting wiped out. Now looking at Amazon. Amazon reported earning, and it opened up at a new all-time high, but unable to close at a new all-time high. So maybe it did. I think it did close at an all-time high. We'll take a look at it closely on the daily, but on the weekly you can see that's a little bit of an indecision, spinning top type of candle, and it is sitting at some sort of support zone here. So we just have to keep an eye on Amazon in the coming week. So it did not close at an all-time high on the daily, because the Wednesday closed at a high here. Today actually closed down. Well, it's closed up, but it's down from Wednesday. Okay, so right now we're essentially looking for Amazon to see if it continue to pull back, would it be able to find support at this zone here between the 1769, essentially 1770 and 1757. Okay, this zone here, and if can't find support zone, there's a little gap here. So if it can't find support in this zone, then we're essentially looking for it to possibly move down to this trend line and into this zone here at this 1661 and 1647 here, to see would it be able to hold this trend line and this price zone for support and get a bounce back. And if it doesn't get a bounce back, then we're essentially looking for 1565 and 1529 area down here. This is another gap zone that you know, could possibly come down and try to fill. Here, looking at Netflix, you can see Netflix is still trying to recover from its earning drop, and right now it still looks like haven't found support yet, and we still continue to watch this area, this 338, 339 for support. And if we are looking at the daily, as you can see, the daily is still kind of fading down, although it's trying to hold above this pivot low here, the post-earning low down here. But still looking for this thing to you know, drift down to this zone here to see would it be able to find some solid support bounce off of that. Okay, at the 346.71 and 338.82, and if you can't find support here, if it break through this zone, then I'll be looking at this 302 and 293 area on this support zone here. Okay, so if it get a bounce, then obviously we're looking at this gap here for potential resistance. That's between 391.75 and 385. And look at Google. Google also reported earnings and shot to a new all-time high, and then kind of pulled back. So although it's a little bit respectful, respectful candle here, but you know, still on a daily candle, it doesn't look that good. You can see that today it essentially got an engulfing candle here, and you know, basically coming down to this gap area at this 1244.49. So next week, if it come down, continue to pull back, we're looking for this potential gap fill down to this 1215.10, and see would it be able to bounce back up. And if it's not, then we're essentially looking for the next minor support area at 1193 and 1190. Okay. Then finally, looking at Twitter, today Twitter reported earnings before the market opened, and you can see it did a Facebook sympathy move pretty much, and it is down 20%, 20.5%, down 882. So you can see that pretty dramatic, just like Facebook. And if we take a look at the daily chart here, you can see that maybe it might have find some support here at the 33.78. If it's not, basically going to see how much of a bounce that it could get from this 33.78 and 33.12. Would it be able to find support at this zone? And if it can't find support in this zone, then we're essentially looking for this thing possibly move back down to this 28.43 and 26.60. But if it could make it back up and bounce off of this this area here, then we're essentially looking at this gap fill area as the nearest potential resistance at 39.19 and 37.98. Then if it could get to this zone, then the next potential resistance would be at 42.41 and 41.69. So those are the price action for the FANG stock and for the ETF. I think the earnings season is spooking a lot of these high flyer that's basically been ran up from the beginning of the year, and everything is being priced to perfection. And as soon as one guy gets spooked, then the other one just get follow suit. Okay, so have a great weekend, and hopefully you haven't got hurt by this little dump from the FANG stock too badly. So thank you for watching, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Then and also click the notification button. Then anytime that I post a new video, you'll be notified. Okay, thank you for watching.